Oh, what is up, guys? Today we're going to talk about Derek Gordon Heggie, aka Dickie Higgy, Decca Heggie, and why everybody hates him. Why is he universally hated on the entire YouTube, especially in Scotland? They really hate him in Scotland. But why is this? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. That's what we're going to get into. Now, I was going to do a little bit of research on Decca, watch some content of his so I could get some ideas, but I just can't do it. He is infuriating to watch. He's always grunting and snorting and coughing, and it's horrible. And he's exhausting as well. It's like everything he does is never his fault. It's always somebody else's fault. And even now he's in prison. He's going not guilty, even though it's all documented. He's been, I don't know exactly what he's been doing, but I think he's been doing hate speech, telling people to go out and fight when the riots were happening. And he's been locked up for that. Of course he's going not guilty, and he's probably going to get a few years in prison. I hope he does. I can't stand the guy. But he is infuriating, and he will never change because he can't accept, when he does wrong. Like, if you do something wrong, and you say, right, yeah, I did that, I admit it, I was wrong, I'm not going to do it again, I'm going to make sure, I'm going to change so I don't do it again. But he's not like that. He's like, oh, well, look at what you've done. He'll try and project and spin it around, and there are parallels with a guy called Lorne Armstrong from America. He's a guy who's got an entire religion based around him, people just messing with him. And they call it the Church of Cod, C-A-W-D. If you Google it, Lorne Armstrong, Church of Cod, it's hilarious. It's similar with what people are doing to Decca, but on a much bigger scale. He's got a whole band of people that just dedicate their lives just to messing with him. Whenever he gets a job, they get him sacked. They play characters and phone him up and pretend they want to be his girlfriend and have him driving cross country to meet him, and there's no one there, and they record him and they just mess with him. And it's hilarious, it's, and I see parallels with Decca, because he's been catfished, people, and that's why we know what a horrible cunt he is. And the thing with Lorne Armstrong is, he got caught on national TV trying to meet a minor at a sting house by Chris Hansen on a TV show, and then afterwards, like, he's trying to deny it, like he's not done anything wrong. And they're saying, why did you do it? And he says, he made a video saying, the reason why he did it was because his head was messed up from his brother. He was blaming his brother. And he was saying he went to his brother's house to do some work on his house, and his brother said he was going to give him some mac and cheese as payment. And this is ridiculous, but it's true. You can Google it. And he didn't pay him the mac and cheese for doing the work on his house. And Lorne says that messed his head up so bad that he went to this house to try and bone a kid because he couldn't think straight. And it's like, Jesus Christ. How ridiculous is that? But that's what Decca's like. He can't take any responsibility. It's always somebody else's fault, or he always tries to spin it around and say, oh, well, look what you've done. That's why he'll never change. And let's look at the facts, right? There's hours of phone calls of him bullying women, real horrible stuff. And within like a minute of being catfished, because he thought he was talking to a woman, he's sending them wanking videos, There's videos of him wanking on trains while there's people walking around. And then when he gets caught and questioned about it, he's like, well, what guy don't do that? It's like, well, no guys do that, you fucking weirdo. And then in the videos, he's like, oh yeah, call me daddy. Is that, what do you mean call you daddy? What, so you're trying to imagine that's your daughter or so? Oh, God, he's a fucking deviant. And he's a grass, he had some back and forth with Danny Christie, and Danny went and met him. That one thing you can say about Decca is he can fight. And he met with Danny Christie, they banged it out, got huge views, but then he's like grassing Danny up, for calling him names online, and got him time in prison. And then there's the whole sexual things, like this 11-year-old called Amy. I don't know what's happened there, but something's gone down because he's always trying to hide it. There's what else is there? There's this sexual assault in a bath stall where if you ask Decca, he'll say, oh, yeah, slapping a bird's arse. But it was way more than that because he got locked up for it. And he's just a real horrible human being. And I was going to watch some content so I could make a video about it and talk about him. But I just can't do it. It's infuriating. And he was doing this whole thing with Karate Marty, and even though Marty knew what he was like, he still said, oh, we'll come over, we'll do some content, we'll have a laugh, we'll do some sparring, we'll get you on one of these boxing cards. And so Decca's gone over to the Philippines. And what does he do? Like, if somebody offered me that, I'd be like, oh yeah, nice one, cheers, thanks, and I would treat them with respect for having me over there. But not Decca. He goes over there and tries to ruin his life, starts trying to get into his missus, and then he's doing videos calling him a child trafficker and a sex case, and just really trashed him. And this is someone who tried to help him. The same with that Viking fella, I don't know, can't remember his name, the real Viking or something. And he was going to have Decca in one of his movies and all sorts, really good opportunities, and Decca just trashed them all and started calling them child traffickers and trying to get them locked up. But luckily, Decca's the one that got locked up. He went to the Philippines and got kicked out of the country for, I don't know what for, I can't remember, but you could see in him, when he sat outside having his coffee, grunting and sniffing and coughing and eating chocolate, he's like looking around at all the women going, he's a proper weirdo. And that's what he's like, he's in prison now and he's going not guilty because he can't just can't take any responsibility for anything. And he is a dangerous dude, imagine like going against him, he's going to end up hurting someone. He's going to end up hurting a woman, the way he treats women. He wanted her to, within like an hour, he's telling her to delete her Facebook, to delete all her social medias. And when she's talking about another bloke, he's going mad and threatening her. And it's like, mate, this is one sick puppy. So in my opinion, he is exactly where he needs to be, which is in prison or sectioned or somewhere, because he's not right in the head. You can see the way he acts. And you know what is just mind-blowing to me is that there's actually people out there that still support him, they'll watch his content. Because he does get big views, because he's a fucking car crash, isn't he? People are watching him, he's the lolcow. People are watching to laugh at him. I can't do it myself. I find he's infuriating, It just winds me up just watching the guy. I just can't imagine being around him. And I noticed he was in court the other day and Video Craig went up and I don't know if he videoed it, but apparently he bumped into his dad, Diet Chips, who just sounds like an older version of Decca. But yeah, he's been remanded and I think he starts his trial in January or something. I'm not too sure. But yeah, he's definitely exactly where he needs to be. I just can't imagine being padded up with him either, Like, God, he shits all the time. You can tell just by looking at him. He's got no banter. He always gets offended by everything. You try and have a laugh. And the one thing I will say about Video Craig, which I always say Craig is good at YouTube, because he is, that's you can't deny that. And the one that always makes me laugh was when Decca had a mate for like a week or something, and he went round town with him drinking, and he videoed himself introducing this kid to do a song, a karaoke song in the karaoke bar. And he said, like Decca's introduced him, he said, oh, this is Ted DiBiase singing so-and-so, and then this kid started singing on video. And what Craig did, he like made his own song, that's fucking genius. Made his own song about Decca, dissing Decca. I don't know if it was a chart song, but I could still remember it now. It was a catchy song, and it was, my mama don't like you, she likes everyone. And then he made his own song up, dissing Decca, and then dubbed it over the guy singing karaoke. So essentially, he's got Decca introducing this guy to sing a song about him, and it was really good what he did, really creative, really funny. And that's why I always say Craig's good at YouTube, because he is, But yeah, that was hilarious. But yeah, Decca's, he's such a horrible cunt. And like I say, he's never going to be able to change, because he can't accept responsibility, Instead of saying, yeah, I can see I've got a problem, I can see I'm a bit of a weirdo. I mean, we're all weirdos in our own way, but he's next level. And instead of saying, yeah, I can see this is a bit strange, this is not right, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that, he won't. He'll just deny it and try and spin it around and say, oh yeah, but look what he's done, look what they've done. So he'll just remain the same. He'll remain in, you know, he'll never, he's got no motivation to change and grow as a person. So he's going to stay in the same rut what he's in, which is making videos on YouTube. Not now because he's in prison, but you know, when he gets out, he'll come out and he'll spin his bullshit, and everybody will tune in just to laugh at him, and he'll make loads of money, and yeah, he'll just remain the same until he dies. But hopefully he gets a few years in prison, because he is a dangerous, horrible cunt, and he's a grass, he's a sexual deviant. I don't think there's no saying he's a pedo apart from this Amy thing, but I haven't seen any proof of that, because he was going to do this acro challenge, wasn't he? Telling everyone he's going to put the acro out. He's a liar as well, saying, yeah, I'll meet you up, I'll do this, I'll do that, we can meet up, I'll show you my acro. And then when it came to the day to meet him, he said, oh yeah, I got pulled over by the police, I couldn't make it. And then he puts a fake acro up, and it's like, fucking hell, mate, just, you know, just accept it, admit it, and try and change and get better. Otherwise you're just going to be stuck in purgatory for the rest of your life. But anyway, that's the video for today. If you like this video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Nerf job pop.